Gerald McCoy, 6 Pro Bowls, 11 years in the NFL, 9 with the Buccaneers. By the way, Tampa, I want to talk about Tampa for a second. Tom Brady obviously had a very difficult situation in his life. Absolutely. And Gerald, in your life, you guys are all in that locker room together, and people go through divorces and breakups, and there's financial situations. In your career, did when guys go through that, did it affect winning and losing? Did it affect performance in your years?
I believe it can. I believe there's a way to compartmentalize it, but me being married almost 10 years, having 5 kids at the house, when home is not good, things don't go well at work. You could try your best, but it's really an escape from the real world when you're at work, but you can't help when mama's not happy at home and the house is not happy. It's hard to go home and try and focus and study film and be locked in because it takes a lot to be at the level that Tom Brady is or to be at the peak of your game and stay there. It takes a lot of film study.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of focus, a lot of sacrifice. But when you're at home and you're trying to fix your house, it takes away from your preparation for the game, and you just can't be at your best when you're trying to fix your house. So, yes, it can affect you at work.
Miami, Tua, it put it out there. He said, I think we're a Super Bowl level team. Did you like that or not? How's that land for you?
Yeah, I heard the soundbite, and for him, what he said is, in training camp we seen type of team we had, in the offseason we seen the type of team we had, and around here we're not afraid to talk about Super Bowl. We're not afraid to talk about the playoffs and winning playoff games. Well, and how I feel is, duh. Like when you got drafted, as high as you got drafted, or anybody who gets drafted, they bring you in to win Super Bowls. They bring you in to get to the playoffs. Every opening team meeting, I'm pretty sure every head coach says, hey, we're here to win a Super Bowl. Well, now it's starting to be more realistic, bringing in Bradley Chubb. He got the huge deal. He was already playing great. They were kind of a middle-of-the-pack defense, but having him shores up the defensive side of the ball. You got Tyreek Hill, who's on a historic pace. Tua has won every game that he's finished. It's realistic, but I don't think that anybody in the building should be up in arms. It's more of a media thing. Like, oh, he said the word Super Bowl. Yes. Hey, newsflash. All teams say Super Bowl. And then when things don't start going the way they're supposed to go, then you like, okay, let's pump the brakes. But they're right in the mix. So, yeah, he should be saying Super Bowl.
So you've been in this league for over a decade, and it's interesting. The Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bills, to me, just look better, not just the records. I think San Francisco's close, but they're never healthy. But I watch Philadelphia, and I buy into it. A lot of people are saying they haven't played anybody. Look at their schedule. They're not playing elite offenses. They get leads on these bad teams and play downhill. That could absolutely be true. Schedules do matter. Kansas City's played a much tougher schedule than Philadelphia. When you watch them with all your experience, do you see the elements that put them in Buffalo's class today and put them in Kansas City's class?
Absolutely. I believe they are in their class. I think the first time we've seen actually any blips or slips from Philadelphia was last night. The Texans were missing their top 2 receivers. So as a defense, hey, we stop the run, get off the field, it's going to be an easy game for us. They couldn't stop the run.
Right.
And that's alarming versus a team like the Houston Texans if you can't stop the run knowing they don't have nobody to throw to.
Right.
And then people have been saying this is the best offensive line in the league. They showed a little weakness last night. Yeah. Jalen Hurts was getting touched up. So I think because it wasn't so clean, now people are starting to speculate maybe they're not as strong as we think. Yes, they are one of the top 3 teams in the NFL, but we have something we believe in NFL locker rooms. Real football is played in November and December.
Yeah.
We will start to see who's who over the next 2 months.
So I want to ask you about, teams like Dolphins get Bradley Chubb at the trading deadline, and Ravens get Roquan Smith and Chase Claypool to the Bears at the trading deadline. So it's interesting, when you bring a new guy into the locker room in a season, coaches want to get him the ball. GMs want to make sure the trade works. So there's kind of this, Eric Mangini said earlier, when people make big moves, they want to make sure they work. And is Chicago going to force the ball to Claypool? I don't know, but you've been in this league. Players that come in the trading deadline, Gerald, is it a little overrated? Does it take a while? What do you make of it? Do you think is Bradley Chubb going to make an immediate impact in your opinion?
Well, it depends on the position. I believe that one thing that a lot of fans wouldn't know is, yes, the players do get excited. If you get an acquisition like a Bradley Chubb, you see Tyreek Hill's reaction. You know, he was playing Fortnite, and you see him lose his mind. You know, people do get excited when you get, because the goal is to win. And if you know you really have a true shot to win, or let's say your team's been struggling, and then you bring in a piece like Bradley Chubb, yes, you're going to get excited. Yes, if you bring in a Chase Claypool, you're going to get excited because he walks in and you say, hey, he's better than anything else I got in this locker room. And so for a player like Justin Fields, who's trying to make that second-year jump, and he has been playing better, to make it easier on him, you have to put pieces around him so he doesn't have to do so much so early. Let him get established in the league first. Let him get his feet wet, start figure out the game. How do you do that? You give him a number one receiver. That's who Chase Claypool will be for him. The evidence of how this can work with what a number one receiver can do for you, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Look at Jalen Hurts and how A.J. Brown has made life way easier. Yeah. Yes, Jalen Hurts has put in the work. He's already been great at running the ball, but now look at him. He's throwing the ball well. He's not making as many mistakes. You know why? Because he has a number one receiver that he can rely on. Yep. It's opening it up for everybody else, and that's what Chase Claypool can do for Justin Fields. And Bradley Chubb, when he comes in as a defender, you don't have to know as much. He's an outside linebacker / DN. They're going to simplify it for him and say, hey, go do what it is we brought you here to do, and that's get the quarterback. We'll teach you coverages and drops and all this stuff later. This week, go get the quarterback.
Finally, Gerald, Gerald McCoy, 11 years in the NFL, 6-time Pro Bowler. Dallas Cowboys, when you look at them and look at the people they'd have to beat, the Minnesotas, the San Franciscos, Philadelphia, do you buy them? Do they have enough firepower offensively? Do you buy it?
I do buy it with Dallas because of the defense, though. The defense is playing really, really well. They're going to have to tighten up on the run, but they're one of the top teams with getting after the passer. Now, if you flip back to the offensive side of the ball, what they did with Cooper Rush when there was this Cooper Rush uproar and there was a QB controversy, all they did is they simplified the offense. Let's get back to what we do well, run the ball and play action, and then it opens everything up. I think they need to stop trying to put so much on Dak's shoulders. Yes, you paid him a lot, but when you pay a guy like that, you pay him to win games. So you make things built around him and how they're supposed to be to help him. Dak is not just a sit in the pocket and beat you with his arm guy. He needs the run game. So simplify, give him the same game plans that you gave Cooper Rush. And the difference is, though, Dak can go win you a game. I don't believe Cooper Rush could go win you the game.
Gerald, great seeing you. He's going to be on First Things First after our show. As always, thoughtful commentary, buddy. Good seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.